Welcome to the Knowledge Alchemist, your guide to wealth, success, and optimal health. Unlock the secrets of personal growth, business strategies, in the world of AI as we embark on a transformative journey together. Join our community, unleash your potential, and make a lasting impact. Get ready to turn your dreams into reality. So that was a little intro that I got from ChatGPT. So if you watch my intro video, you kind of have an idea what's going on right now. And the first thing that I wanted to do was go through the conversation of what it's been telling me to do as far as my content creation is concerned. Um, and so the first idea was talking about the power of lifelong learning. So to discuss the significance of continued learning beyond formal education, highlight the benefits of investing time in personal growth and expanding knowledge through one's life. So I guess I just should be having a conversation about this. The reason that it popped up was because I ended up telling ChatGPT that it was, excuse me, geez, very important for people to understand that just because you get out of school, high school, college, university, and you get into the workforce doesn't mean that your life of learning should kind of stop there. I find that there's kind of like two different types of learning, so to speak, uh, for this scenario, anyways. So I would consider one passive and one active. Passive learning is what we do in life. So we're kind of going through life. We're just, doing whatever it is that we're doing, whether it be, building relationships or going out, or whether we're working, trying to save money, whatever it is that you do. And what ends up happening is that life happens, like something happens. So you get a new job, or you lose your job, or you meet a new person. And so you're just kind of like taking the change on as it's coming to you. And the other way that we passively learn is through the content consumption that we do. So we spend so much time on the internet, on TikTok and YouTube and Reddit and Twitter and all of these places. And we're just kind of like consuming content. And so while we may be learning something because we found a new way to fry an egg or fold a shirt, or something along those lines, um, it's kind of a very kind of like passive thing. Whereas I find that active seeking knowledge is the idea of like going out and like specifically reading and looking for something, buying a book, putting yourself into a situation that you wouldn't normally be in so that you can gain some kind of experience. It's this idea that you need to go out and you need to consume content and information and experiences, but then you also need to be able, or you also need to put them into action to some extent to kind of like solidify who you are and choose who you're going to be. In this passive way that we learn, what ends up happening is that it's kind of based on the medium, right? So it's like wherever you are is kind of what you become, and whatever change happens in your life becomes who you are. Whereas when you actively choose to go out and engage in certain things, you become a person that is a little bit more designed based on what it is that you're choosing to do. And so maybe a crazy example of this is like when you're going to work or to school or to whatever, you always take the same path. It's like you leave your house and you turn right, and then you turn left, and then you walk X amount of time or whatever, and then you're at your destination. Or maybe you're driving or taking the bus. It's irrelevant. But there's this idea that my dad had given me a long time ago, where he just said like randomly take a left turn, like for no reason whatsoever. Just explore a different part of your reality. And that stuck with me throughout my entire life. And I don't think that the lesson, the moral of the story, was to actually take a left, right? It was just about putting yourself into a position that you're not in so that you have an opportunity to experience something new, to learn something new. And so when I was young, it started off by like, I was walking to school or busing to school, and then one day I was like, oh, I'm going to turn like left on this street, or I'm going to drive left on this street, and then I'll be in a different place now. I'm still with the same goal, the same objective. I'm still doing the same thing. I'm still the same person. Everything's the same, but now I'm choosing to change my environment, so that I can see what ends up happening and what experiences I can gain from this. And so I think that we can do this in different ways, right? It's like I've never in my life been so tied to one employment, to one kind of like person or idea when it comes to uh, that part of like my working life, that I haven't been afraid to just say like, fuck it, I'm not doing this, or this isn't me, or it's not what I want, or I want something different, or I want to try this, or I've never been afraid to do those things. And so I've had many different jobs in my life, and I've been comfortable enough to be able to do that because I've got confidence in myself that I can put myself into this position and be able to find some, what I like to call like a golden nugget, like some benefit to it, you know. Um, and so if I'm working a job, and let's give you like both a positive and a negative type situation. If I'm working a job and I don't like it, it's not helping me grow as a person or in my career. If it's just a thing that like I wake up and I go to it and I do it and then I go home and then I go to sleep and I wake up and I go to it and whatever. I can't live my life that way. And so I'll go and I'll look for another job, and then I'll leave where I am because it's stagnant. There's no growth in it. And so that's kind of like the negative example where I'll leave something that I perceive to be negative or bad that doesn't have my growth in mind. A positive example would be getting into a job and being very clear with your colleagues and your managers, your boss, what it is that you want to achieve from this, and then holding them accountable for your personal and career growth. And that's been one thing that's been really transformative for me. So I'll go into a job and I'll be like, listen, this is what I offer you. Like, these are the things that I know, and this is how I work, and this is how I get along with people, and so on and so forth. But I want you to make sure that you're always teaching me something new. Like, you're the one that owns this company, or you're the man. I want you to teach me something new every day. Like, that's going to be your job. And if you can't do that, don't hire me, because I'm not interested in being in a place where there's no personal and success growth coming from the people that are supposed to be my mentors, and that's you. So that's what I want from you, you know? And this has been amazing because the number of people that I've run into who, for whatever other personal reasons, have like that attitude, who've taken me under their wing, has taught me a lot. And it's taught me things that I wouldn't get from a book. It's taught me things that I wouldn't get from just being stagnant in a job. Um, and then, of course, like, I can give some examples. One of them, I'm thinking about a guy named Anthony. He worked at a gym that I worked at. I was a personal trainer. He was the fitness manager. And Anthony was very analytical and cared very much about being intentional and specific about your time, because time was very important to him. Everything that he did was based in 15-minute segments. And I know that this is like a new thing that we kind of see on TikTok and YouTube and shorts and stuff, where people talk about segmenting your time and optimizing your schedules and stuff or whatever. But almost a decade ago, I was learning this from him because he was this type of individual. And he said, take whatever calendar you want, like Google Calendar or whatever, and literally just cut your day into 15-minute sections and fill them up. Fill them up as much as humanly possible, and really focus and prioritize that you have a routine. So if you're going to start at 7 and you're going to finish at 5, you block off your lunch, you block off, breaks and working out and being healthy and going to the bathroom and all that kind of stuff. And then you fill in everything else. And, there's going to be times where your time is dedicated to fill the blocks, and then there's another period where those blocks are dedicated to actually doing the work and advancing yourself. And it taught me so much discipline on how to value myself and value my own time. And I think that was something that I couldn't have got in any other form. It wasn't necessarily about time management skills. It was about realizing the importance of my time and prioritizing myself. So between 1 and 2 every day, I worked out. And it's like, it didn't matter what opportunities came to me, it didn't matter what people said, it didn't matter what was happening. From 1 to 2 o'clock, Chris worked out at that time, and that's all there was to it. And people had to work around my schedule because I saw value in my time and my health and so on and so forth. And the confidence that that builds is absolutely fantastic. So again, like this is all based on this idea of like lifelong learning, and taking a left turn, I think, is kind of, the key word here. I think that having been taught to take left turns in my life taught me the rest of what it is that I explained in this video. And it's been amazing. I think it's very important for people to continuously grow, to take an active role in their personal development, to take left turns, put themselves into positions to learn things that they wouldn't have been able to learn in any other way than that way. And you can kind of have new experiences and cultivate your life. So that's what I think about lifelong learning. And we'll see you on the next video.